Timeout lovers and sports lovers, and welcome to another episode of Timeout, a show anybody can watch about sports, stats, facts, and everything in between. From a fan point of view, I'm your host Charlie, so let's go get this ball rolling. Timeout. It's sports time. How did I miss that? Okay, fellow Timeout lovers and sports lovers, man, did we have some awesome nail-biter, edge-of-your-seat games go down yesterday on, whoa, what a shot, B-Ball Wednesday. So, Timeout, it's sports time. We begin the day with last night for the 3 B-Ball games. As with the first game, we head to Brooklyn, New York. Woohoo! As the Nets hosted turn down for what? For what? Miami Heat. Woohoo! As shine bright in Barclays Center as the game was a back and forth battle all the way to the end, fellow Timeout lovers. But D Wade and his Miami boys, woohoo, headed up the final victory with a 104-98 victory. Woo! Let's go Heat. The superstars on the night on the net side was Lopez with 25 points, and can't forget about Young with 7 rebounds, and of course Jack with 10 points. On the Miami Heat side, the superstars, we had D Wade with 28 points. Can't forget about that big man, the Superman Whiteside with 13 rebounds, and can't forget about our other new super stud, the little man but still can shoot them threes, Dragic with 5 assists. On to the next game. We head to Chi-Town as my Chicago Bulls hosted the animals that they are, the Memphis Grizzlies, with a battle against 2 giant power handle teams. The Bulls and the Grizzlies went head on, back and forth. And then in the third and fourth quarter, my Bulls charged up their horns and woohoo, rushed the Grizzlies out of the United Center with a final victory of 98-85. Woohoo! That's a 4, that's right, not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 games in a row the Bulls have won. Man, we are on fire. The superstars on the night on the Grizzlies side was Lee with 18 points. Woohoo! Can't forget about that Grizzlies side, Zach Randolph with 11 rebounds, and the brother of Paul Gasol had brother versus brother last night. Mark Gasol got 7 assists. On my Chicago Bulls side, we have Butler with 24 points, Paul Gasol with 14 rebounds, and 5 assists with 2 tied. Alright, let's go Bulls. On to the final game. We head to the other side of the U.S. to Oakland, California, for the champs, the Golden State Warriors, hosting the new improved Phoenix Suns. As the game was a back and forth nail-biter in the first and second quarter, those Suns actually kept up with the champs, the Golden State Warriors. But then after halftime, Golden State Warriors hit the gas and didn't look back, with Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Green making threes and amazing shots all night long. with a final victory, fellow timeout lovers, in Oakland in the Oracle with 128 to 103. Woohoo! Without, by the way, the chef, Steph Curry, on the court in the fourth quarter. They still made it happen. The superstars on the Sun side, we had Teledovic with 24 points, Warren with 8 rebounds, and Bledsoe with 8 assists. And on those Warriors woohoo side, you can't forget about Klay Amazing Thompson with a whopping 43 points last night, fellow timeout lovers. He was on fire. As well as Bogart getting 12 rebounds. And can't forget about Green with 10 assists. Wow. Talk about some awesome, insane, for the 3 B-balls that happened yesterday on Whoa! What a Shot Wednesday. For extra, read all about it. Hot off the presses. Okay, fellow timeout lovers, this just in. In Miami, the Miami Heat are possibly thinking of trading their big guy superstar, Whiteside, for Houston's big problem, Dwight Howard. Look, I get it, fellow timeout lovers and sports lovers. I'm all about getting a championship in Miami once again. But Whiteside is the real deal. And even though he is young, he has raw talent. And that, Mr. Pat O'Reilly, is something you just can't purchase or teach. So yes, Dwight Howard is a big guy. But since Orlando, he's not become Superman, more like super dud, if you ask me. So why don't we keep who we have and work together as a team to get another ring in Miami once again? Fantasy rock stars and not stars. Okay, fellow sports lovers and timeout lovers, it's turn down for what? Thursday, so you know what time it is. Woohoo! It's Timeout Fantasy Rock Stars and Not Stars for week 15. So, here we go. Okay, my fantasy rockstar quarterback is Russell Wilson with 292 receiving yards last week. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but count them 5 touchdowns, 6 rushing yards, and with an insane 31 points, fellow timeout lovers. If you have him this week, definitely, absolutely play him. My fantasy not star quarterback is TJ Yates of the Houston Texans, where Houston, we definitely have a problem with only 4 points last week, and that's just because of bench points because of the Texans. And Brian Hoyer now out for the Texans. Yates is trying to go against Andrew Luck and his Colts, and honestly, I mean, even though Andrew hasn't been doing so impressive, I really think he can handle TJ Yates and the Texans. I would bench him. My fantasy rockstar running back is the Steelers' own secret weapon, D'Angelo Williams, with an insane 2 touchdowns last week and 20 points for owners. He is a secret weapon for the black and yellow. If you have him, keep him. My fantasy, not star this week. Running back is, unfortunately, I hate to say it because he's on my fantasy, Giovanni Bernard. With only 6 points last week, and with, honestly, timeout. With the Bengals not dividing up the workload with the running backs in Cincinnati, and with Jeremy Hill and Giovanni Bernard basically trying to fight for the same position, and honestly, Jeremy Hill is just going off to the races. Giovanni Bernard is just not, it's not your time, it's not your year. If you have him, I'm benching him, you should bench him too. My fantasy, Rockstar wide receiver is Odell. What a catch! Beckham Jr. for the Giants. Oh man, is this guy special. With an insane 28 points last week, he left the Miami Dolphins in the dust. Literally. With 166 receiving yards. Honestly, got to give a shout out to my friend Danielle. We had a little bet at work, and she definitely was right. The Giants definitely were going to squash the Miami Dolphins. We tried our hardest, but just didn't happen. Oh well. Anyway, moving on. We have, with Eli Manning, just trying to throw to him, and him, I personally think he will at least get 2 touchdowns against the Panthers next week. My fantasy, not star wide receiver is Redskins Deshaun Jackson. With being probable this week, and him only giving owners 4 points last week against my Bears. If you have them, bench them. My fantasy, Rockstar tight end is Redskins' own, actually, Jordan Reed, with 120 receiving yards last week against my Bears, and a touchdown against my Bears as well, with 18 points last week. With an injured Deshaun Jackson, Kirk Cousins is definitely going to be throwing to Mr. Reed. If you have them, definitely play them. My fantasy, not star tight end, is Dolphins' own Jordan Cameron, with only 35 receiving yards last week against the Giants, and only 3 points for owners. If you have them, I would drop them. My fantasy, Rockstar defense is the Seattle Seahawks going against Cleveland. I have Seattle's definitely going, and it's at home. Seattle's at home. Seattle is going to rock the place and destroy Cleveland. My fantasy, not star defense is Tennessee Titans, with -3 points last week, and this week going against the Patriots. There's no way you're going to get Brady and his elite Pats. If you have the Tennessee Titans as your defense, sorry, but I personally think you should bench them. My fantasy, Rockstar kicker is Panthers' own Graham Gano. With the Panthers being undefeated, their kicker is also being pretty amazing, with 8 points last week and only getting better by the weeks. If you have them, play them. My fantasy, not star kicker is Dan Carpenter of the Bills. Well, there you go. Those are my fantasy rock stars, and not stars for week 15 of the NFL. Timeout. It's pick'em time! Okay, fellow timeout lovers, here we go! With it being turned down for what? For what? Thursday, I have my picks for week 15 of the da-da-dun, 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 dun, the NFL. So here we go. Okay, Thursday night. Going on tonight, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Rams. Thought about this back and forth, and I think the Tampa Bay Bucks are something special this year. I'm going with the Bucks. On a special NFL Network, special Saturday night game, we have the Jets versus the Cowboys. I mean, honestly, with an injured Cowboys left and right, and just it being 1.2% chance Cowboys making it in the playoffs, even though you're saying there's still a chance, I'm sorry, Cowboys, but not for you guys. I'm going the Jets. Okay, Sunday football. We have the Ravens versus the Chiefs. I'm going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs. Texans versus the Colts. I'm going with the Colts. Falcons versus the Jaguars. This is a tough one, back and forth. I had to really think about this one, but I really do think Atlanta's going to finish it off against the Jaguars. I'm going to go with the Falcons. My Bears versus the Vikings. Had to think about this back and forth, and even though that might possibly be a win, because you never know with this up and down weeks that there are in the NFL. But I'm sorry, Bears. I'm going with the Vikings. Titans versus the Patriots. I'm sorry, no doubt about it. Going with the Patriots, even with the injured Patriots team, they will destroy the Tennessee Titans. Panthers versus the Giants. Even though the Giants have been able to prove a lot of special teams wrong, like the Broncos defeating their undefeated season, and of course can't forget about the Patriots season, and won the Super Bowl that year as well against the Patriots. Even though Jimmy Stewart is out, Jonathan Stewart, is out for this week, I'm still going with the Panthers. Cardinals versus the Eagles, Birds versus the Birds. Eagles, even though they have been impressive lately, I just think the Cardinals are a better team. I'm going with the Cardinals. Bills versus the Redskins. I'm impressed. Redskins are my Cinderella team this year. I'm going to go with the Redskins. Packers versus the Raiders. Aaron Rodgers, you better be able to beat them Raiders. I'm talking to you, Rudy. We're going with the Packers. Okay, Browns versus Seahawks. I thought about this back and forth, and I'm going to go with the Seahawks. Browns versus Steelers. The Steelers are definitely a team I personally think that the Panthers and the Patriots should be scared of, because they've got some secret weapons. I'm talking to you, D'Angelo Williams. I'm going with the Steelers. Dolphins versus the Chargers. Even though it was a pretty neck and neck game on Monday Night Football against the Giants. Chargers at home with Antonio Gates probably ready to rock and roll. I'm going with the Chargers. Alright, and then the Sunday Night Football game. Bengals versus the 49ers. Even though the 49ers shocked the world and beat my Bears in overtime, by the way, which I still can't believe. Anyway, I'm going to go with the Bengals. And Monday Night Football. We have the Detroit Lions versus the New Orleans Saints. This is back and forth, but the Saints at home are unbelievable. I think Benjamin Watson, you better get some touchdowns, sir. And I'm going to go with the Saints. So there you go. Those are my picks for week 15 of the NFL. That's my show, fellow timeout lovers and sports lovers. Thanks for watching. If you really like what I'm talking about, then go on and give me those thumbs up. Or, if you really feel me, then subscribed yet. Or you can always leave me a comment below the video here, of course. And don't forget to hit me up on social media on Facebook at Charles Cowan Timeout, as well as I'm very active on Twitter at Timeout Now 87. Until next time, time out. Woo-hoo! Let's talk about some sports. Have an awesome, turn down for what Thursday.